Welcome to my channel Mintage Mysteries, where every coin has a hidden story. If you love discovering hidden treasures and uncovering coin secrets, you're in the right place. We're on a quest to solve the puzzles behind the world's most fascinating coins. From rare errors to legendary rarities, let's dive into the mysteries of numismatics. The Lincoln penny, minted in 2000, is the product of 90 years of artistic development, technical adjustments, and material changes that gradually shaped how the coin looked and how it functioned in circulation. Although it appears simple at first glance, the 2000 issue preserves a long chain of decisions made by designers, engravers, and mint officials, each contributing to the coin's final form. Its history begins in 1909, when the United States Mint introduced the first Lincoln cent to mark the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. President Theodore Roosevelt had insisted that American coinage should be more dignified and artistic, and he specifically approved the idea of placing Lincoln on the cent. Sculptor Victor David Brenner, chosen for the project, based his portrait on a well-known 1864 Matthew Brady photograph of Lincoln. Brenner refined the image to convey Lincoln's seriousness, compassion, and recognizable facial structure. Over the decades, as minting technology improved, the portrait was adjusted slightly through new dye preparations. By the time the 2000 coin was struck, the portrait had crisp lines around the hair, beard, and coat, with subtle shadows in the cheek and jaw areas that were not as sharply defined on early 20th century issues. The obverse design used in 2000 continued Brenner's original placement of inscriptions. "In God We Trust" stretches across the upper rim in a smooth arc, positioned to keep it centered above Lincoln's head. To the left of the portrait appears the word "Liberty," placed so it does not crowd the rim or Lincoln's profile. To the right appears the date, 2000, cleanly spaced and aligned with the shoulder truncation. Beneath the shoulder, in very small lettering, are Brenner's initials, VDB. These initials, originally placed more prominently on the 1909 cent, were removed after public criticism but restored in a discrete size in 1918. Their presence on the 2000 issue provides a direct link to the original design and its creator. The composition of the 2000 penny reflects major economic changes that occurred decades earlier. From 1909 through mid-1982, the penny was primarily made of copper. However, rising copper prices made it too expensive for the mint to continue producing nearly solid copper coins. The solution was to create a coin with a zinc center plated with copper. Starting late in 1982, the cent adopted a structure with a 97.5% zinc core and a 2.5% copper exterior. The penny of 2000 followed this composition. The copper plating, extremely thin compared to the old solid copper planchets, was added through an electroplating process that bonded a uniform copper surface onto the zinc. This gave the coin the classic appearance of a copper cent while reducing weight and material cost. The 2000 penny therefore weighs about 2.5 grams, noticeably lighter than pre-1982 copper cents, which weighed 3.11 grams. Although visually similar, the different metal structure affects sound, weight, and wear patterns, especially along the edges. The reverse design on the 2000 cent displays the Lincoln Memorial, which replaced the wheat ear reverse in 1959 for the sesquicentennial of Lincoln's birth. Designed by mint engraver Frank Gasparro, this reverse adapts the real Washington, D.C. monument into a coin-sized relief. Gasparro simplified the lines of the steps, columns, and pediment to ensure they remained identifiable even after the coin experienced circulation wear. Despite the small size of the coin, he included the tiny seated Lincoln statue inside the memorial, positioned between the central columns. On the 2000 version, the statue appears as a faint but visible shape when viewed closely or under strong light. Above the memorial appear the inscriptions "United States of America" and "E Pluribus Unum," arranged in two lines that create visual balance. At the bottom, the denomination 1 cent is engraved in bold lettering, placed so the text is centered beneath the building. The minting of the 2000 penny was carried out with high-speed equipment capable of striking hundreds of coins per minute. Before striking, the copper-plated zinc blanks were punched from large sheets, heated to soften the metal, cleaned, and then fed into presses. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produced billions of these coins for circulation. Philadelphia pennies have no mint mark, while Denver issues show a small D to the right of the date. Proof versions, struck at the San Francisco Mint and marked with an S, were made using polished planchets and specially prepared dies. These proof coins have deeply mirrored fields and frosted details that reveal features such as individual hair strands, column textures, and the miniature statue with greater clarity. Although common in everyday transactions, the 2000 Lincoln penny is the end result of decades of artistic intention and practical improvement. It carries Brenner's early 20th century portrait, Gasparro's mid-century architectural reverse, and a late 20th century metal composition shaped by changing economic realities. Through these combined influences, the 2000 penny stands as a small but detailed historical artifact, connecting past design traditions with modern manufacturing techniques. Most 2000 Lincoln pennies are extremely common, because the U.S. Mint produced billions of them for everyday circulation. Their abundance means that worn, circulated examples are usually worth only 1 cent. However, certain unusual conditions, errors, and exceptional states of preservation can make some 2000 pennies rare and valuable. Understanding why a few stand out requires looking at how collectors judge condition, how rare minting anomalies occur, and why some versions of the coin are significantly harder to find than others. A major factor affecting value is the state of preservation. A 2000 penny that has never been circulated and still shows its original copper-red surface can be worth considerably more than a worn version. Collectors categorize the color of copper-plated zinc cents as brown, red-brown, or red, with fully red coins being the most desirable. If the coin also has very sharp detail, minimal surface marks, and bright luster, it can reach high mint state grades when evaluated by professional grading companies. In the highest grades, such as MS-68 or MS-69, even common dates like the year 2000 can bring strong prices because so few coins survive in perfect condition. Some of the best-preserved 2000D pennies have reportedly sold for hundreds or even over $1,000 in rare cases because extremely high-grade examples are genuinely scarce. Another area that can create rarity is minting errors or unusual varieties. While most 2000 cents were struck correctly, the minting process sometimes produced coins with misplaced details, misaligned strikes, or other abnormalities. Collectors actively seek coins such as off-center strikes, where the design is shifted and part of the coin surface remains blank. Coins struck without the retaining collar can appear wider or flatter than normal, a mistake called a broad strike. In rare instances, a coin may even be struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination, which creates a dramatic and highly valuable error. Any error must be genuine and not caused by post-mint damage to carry value. A well-known variety for this year is the wide AM reverse on some 2000 pennies. On this version, the letters A and M in the word America are spaced farther apart than on standard coins. This variety occurred when a die intended for proof coins was accidentally used for regular production. Because only a small number of these coins were released, collectors consider them scarcer than normal 2000 cents. Even in circulated condition, wide AM examples can command a premium, and higher-grade wide AM pieces can reach much stronger values. Mint mark differences also influence value. The Philadelphia Mint produced 2000 pennies without mint marks, and the Denver Mint produced those with a small d. Neither is rare by itself, but high-grade Denver coins are sometimes harder to find and can therefore reach higher prices when certified. San Francisco produced proof pennies with an S mint mark. These coins were made with polished dies and special planchets for collectors. Proof coins are not rare in general, but exceptionally preserved or perfectly struck proofs, especially those with deep mirror contrast, can be more valuable than ordinary proofs. The reason only a small number of 2000 pennies hold significant value is simply the size of the original mintage. With billions of coins produced, almost all examples are plentiful and easily found in circulation. Only coins with unique characteristics, like exceptional condition, rare die varieties, or striking errors, break out of the ordinary and attract collector attention. The rarity in these cases is not tied to the date itself, but to specific unusual circumstances that make certain coins distinct from the rest. Even though most 2000 pennies remain ordinary pocket change, the few that are exceptional can be worth much more, sometimes far beyond their face value. A collector who finds an uncirculated, brilliant red example, a wide AM variety, or a dramatic minting error may have a coin that stands out in a year otherwise known for extremely high production. If you enjoyed today's exploration, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin discoveries, and share this video with fellow collectors. And as always, keep searching for those hidden treasures in your change. You never know when you might stumble upon the next big mystery.